Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. Today we are going to be covering we're going to be talking about the news in Canada and how terrible our economy is doing right now. And it's not looking good for Justin Trudeau and his polls right now, guys. It's insane what has been happening with Canadian economy, and I'm just amazed at how few people talk about it. We are at our highest unemployment rate, lowest employment rate, but highest unemployment rate since 2017, guys. It's insane. And I'm supposed to tell you that you should move to Calgary because it's the best city in Canada, and yet our unemployment is even worse than average in Canada, guys. No, we are not doing too good economically. And guess what, guys? Justin Trudeau came up with a great idea to give a tax break for fellow Canadians. And I want to tell you guys, I've been working with business owners and other people, and I want to tell you, it's not a great idea for a tax break for certain products. And it can be ridiculous, like as far as some products for kids that are getting the discount, and the same product for adults doesn't. So if you look at it this way, it means you literally have to change your entire accounting system and all the software running through those companies, corporations, and small businesses, and try to figure it out which taxes are to be counted on which products and which are not to be counted. And guys, I'll tell you, that is thousands and tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for companies to spend money on to make this stupid idea that the government has come up with to give a break to Canadians. Like if they set a break, okay, look guys, from this day to this day, no taxes whatsoever. It would be easier to do. But when it's on select product, it's just freaking ridiculous. Like just blank stupid idea, because it's not doable. It's made by a delusional person who doesn't know how businesses work and how much money is going to cost the business owners. But who cares about business owners when we have 200,000 people that own Airbnbs and VRBOs, according to Justin Trudeau? Guys, I want to tell you, I used to have 4 Airbnbs. I'm down to 1 right now. And it is empty. It is empty as of this month. It was pretty good, but now it's empty. Sitting empty out there, guys. Because you know why? People don't have jobs. People don't have money to travel within Canada to spend their time with the holidays and stuff like that. Guys, this is why we are doing so bad. Like, we're doing pretty bad. We're doing so bad that our Canadian dollar isn't, well, look at the dilemma right now. If we lower down the interest rates, Canadian dollar might get weaker, but it's already weak. But we cannot not lower down the interest rates because of unemployment. So guys, my wife, she's mortgage broker, right? She kept on saying it for a month over and over. Oh, they're going to cut 25 basis points. It's going to be this Wednesday, guys. This Wednesday, we are going to find out what the news are. But she kept on saying 25 basis points. Right now, looking at the current news and everybody, and like even if you look at some prominent figures like Butler guy who is also doing mortgages, anyways, he's like, oh, 25 basis points, blah, 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 blah. I say, I'm going to speak in his own language, so very swearing and angry. I disagree. I think it's probably going to be 50 basis points. And lots of, like 70% of experts right now are coming to 50 basis points. Because we are doing so bad. Everybody's thinking, oh, it's the housing. It's the housing. We need interest rates to make housing more. Guys, it's not only about housing. Interest rates for the entire economy. It's great if the interest rates go down. We can buy more houses. But it doesn't make any difference if a person doesn't have a job. If you don't have a job, you cannot buy a house. As a real estate agent, I cannot buy you or sell, I could probably sell your house if you're in distress for sure. But you're not going to be buying more houses if you don't have a job. And that's just, that's it. That's it, guys. Yeah, work with eXp Realty, but you cannot buy a house if you don't have a job. It's just stupid. Like, why would you do that? Nobody's going to give you a mortgage if you don't have a job anyways. And plus, so what's happening on the market right now? Well, I'll tell you what's happening on the real estate market right now, especially on Calgary. Guys, I'll see, guys, that property I just showed you a few days back, it's getting sold. It's getting sold as I'm recording this video. So probably by the time I publish this video, that property is going to be gone off the market. I'll tell you what's happening right now in the Calgary real estate market. Well, it's simple. What's happening in the real estate market is some investors are dropping down their investment portfolio because the interest rates are too high, the payments are too high, and also those investors are not like BlackRock corporations, it's middle-class Canadians who are actually getting swapped by the federal governments more and more, these days. I'll get back to that in a moment. But they're like, okay, we'll sell. A lot of investors are like, they're dropping off extra real estate because it's just too much to handle all of that, all of that debt on their shoulders. And there are some people who are smart buyers who are buying on the economy when the real estate is going down, and there's lots of market activity. I'm literally in a process of negotiating of selling a property right now that I'm listed, and there's another couple of properties coming up between now and January. In January, you might be able to see 2 more properties that are coming up for sale. They're just waiting for the right time. And closer to March, you'll be seeing 3 more properties that I'm going to be listing myself. But anyways, guys, I'm just preparing you guys. I'm just saying that there is an activity on the market. I even took the vacation off, canceled, because of unpredictability of what's happening. Right now, smart investors are buying on the market going down, and some, smart investors, first-time home buyers. Those are the smart people who are buying. You're only smart right now, guys, if you're a first-time home buyer and you need a property and you're taking advantage of this 30-year amortization, which is another disaster. Guys, guess what? Did you know the 30-year amortization for first-time home buyers, not on pre-construction, but just on the regular one that's coming up on December 15th, is a pixie dust right now and doesn't really exist? So, my wife's phone is blowing up. She's working as a mortgage DLC clear, trust mortgages. Nitu, she's working with DLC clear. But anyways, she's a mortgage broker. She gets people calling her, and everyone is like, I want that, I want that. And she keeps on calling banks, and people call banks as well, and they talk about it. And I'll tell you, the funniest situation is that Office of Superintendent, OSFI, the bank regulator, has not yet provided the instruction on a policy on how it's going to work. So what would be the CMHC insurance premiums for that? How is it going to work? And everything. So everyone knows about it, and banks are like, yeah, we know that you know because you know it, and we know it both from one person, Justin Trudeau. But we really don't really have it in place yet because it's not yet there. So it's like an unfulfilled prophecy. Everyone knows it's going to happen. And everyone is expecting and creating all the rush on the market, but it does not yet exist. And this is the stupidest thing. And a lot of people, guys, I'll tell you, there is a lot of people who already purchased real estate right now. And they're like, oh, I'm going to get my keys on December 16th, so I can get 30-year amortization. And people don't realize that they haven't even received their instructions. So you need more time from December 15th. Maybe even more than we expect. Some people say at least 10 business days after December 15th. Some people say, but I know some people are closing right after that, and there's lots of people already purchased because of this news. You must be one of those people who is watching it right now. I'm telling you, at least one person watching this video right now purchased the real estate because of this news, but they're like, they probably already figured it out because it doesn't really exist yet, and they're probably stressed out. And they might be in a process of negotiating to extend their closing date. Otherwise, they'll have to go with 25-year amortization because they're like, well, by now I'll get 30-year amortization. And I think it's going to work out. And they were promised by, their banks, by their lenders, by their mortgage advisors. Guys, go to the most qualified and experienced people, guys. And I'm endorsing my wife here. Anyways, so... be careful, guys. It doesn't exist yet. It's coming up on December 15th. But it's just a freaking mess what the government has done. Government of Canada has done so far. So what they decided to say is that those 200,000 Airbnbs and VRBOs that are in Canada, small business people, let's punish them. Instead of decreasing the taxes, instead of lowering down the immigration, which they're doing now, lowering down the immigration, not the taxes, of course, we have a little bit of job growth, but the problem is the jobs that are going up are in the government sector. So we are literally growing the bureaucracy. We are growing the government jobs rather than growing our economy, which is, that's where the money comes from, that's where the taxes come from. So we are literally turning into a communist kind of country. I hate communism. Sorry, guys. I don't like communism. I grew up in Soviet Union. I cannot stand communism. Why? It's a great idea. It's a great idea. but it doesn't work. It's against human nature. I'm a capitalist, I don't like communism. I would explain to you why I don't like communism. I'll just state my opinion from my personal opinion. Like, you can like communism, you can be forever, you can kiss communism, you can be like Stalin, Lenin, go ahead, blah blah blah. Guys, I grew up in a country where that disease was born, and it spread all over the world, and went to different countries. I'll tell you, guys, it's pretty bad. It's when you get, what communism for me is when you get punished for your talents and success, and you get endorsed for laziness. So for example, when people, doctors and engineers, were making same amount of incomes as those guys who were cleaning and shoveling snow on the street, where a heart surgeon would rather sell oranges on the marketplace and hide their degree and everything because they were not getting paid enough for doing that job. That's kind of the communism. I know it might sound wild, but this communism is wild in that way. And I come from a country of post-communism where I heard all sorts of stories. And honestly, guys, I'll tell you what they did after World War II in Soviet Union. They made such a way that, oh, you have a house, you have a 2-bedroom basement. Hey, Igor, I'm talking about myself. Great job. You got a basement. Congratulations. You have 2 bedrooms. We can have 3 families living in your basement. Because, well, there's not enough housing for everyone. That's unfortunate. So we are going to come to your right, take away what's yours, and we'll put people into your house. Like, oh, Igor, you just have a wife and 2 kids. You don't need the entire house. You could all fit into a master bedroom. And we could take the rest of the other bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, put 4 families, and there you go. So first, what we should do is take away your guns, infringe on your rights, then put in people into your houses, and then tax the hell out of you and turn you into a nice paying tax comrade. Comrades? Cheers, comrades. На здоровье. Короче говоря, back to English language. Yes, I do speak Russian. And yes, comrade means товарищ. Знаете, на здоровье, товарищ. Guys, I escaped the country not because it's communism. I left Ukraine because it's still lots of post-communism. There are still people having that mentality, and I cannot stand that. I believe you have to have freedoms, and you have to stand up for your freedoms. You have to continuously fight, or they will be taken away, like this is happening right now. So big corporations are getting endorsed, big corporations getting tax breaks, but small people, Canadians who have, they manage to own multiple properties, a vacation home or something else, or they have, 2 properties. Look at this, there's 200,000 Airbnbs. We could literally turn it into the houses. Well, nobody wants to say, hey, look, there is a Hilton hotel. Why don't we turn it into a multifamily complex where we can turn those hotels into residences and convert them into condos? Why nobody wants to do that? Well, because Hilton and other big brands, they're going to sue the hell out of you. They are business owners, but it's easier to punch the small guy. And small guy just happens to be a regular middle-class Canadian that gets punched around by the government right now with this kind of remarks. It's just stupid. So the problem is those greedy, small, middle-class Canadians, and not the immigration policy, not the fiscal policy, not the international trade policy, not the money printing. That's not the problem. The problem is middle-class Canadians that, they're making a little bit above average. So yeah, if they get poorer, everybody else is going to get richer. And I used to have a grandmother, communist grandmother, living in my building, and she would come out and she would say, "О, ці куркулі прокляті, понаїхали, понакупали, ці машини понапаркували." I'm talking, she speaks in a half Russian, half Ukrainian mix of languages, and she says, "Oh, this rich people, cursed rich people came in and they parked their cars all over the place, and this rich kurkuli proklati," it means kurkuli means feast, when you were feast. So those guys who are wealthy, there was a term in communism where you would defeast someone. So the feast, the strong people would hold stuff in their feast, so you would open that feast and take it away from them. So same kind of mentality I feel that Canada is slowly developing. It's like, hey, let's find those retired baby boomers that have multiple properties, let's say, and we'll take it away and we'll give it to the poor, like a Robin Hood style, to take away basically what the government is doing. Rather than fixing the policy, they're infringing on your rights of ownership and saying, hey, there is money in your pocket, pull it out. increase your equity gain tax and stuff like that. Guys, I know a retired Canadian guy who's been here as a British immigrant and stuff like that, and like he told me one thing, and I love what he said. He said, Igor, it feels like Justin Trudeau is just reaching out into my pocket and stealing my money. And I'm like, I kind of agree with that. Guys, just imagine this. You own a property that you purchased in 1990s and it went up in price. By the way, it didn't really go up in price. I did some calculation. Compound interest, if you know how it works. I know how it works. I did masters in economics and business, and I have more than necessary education for my real estate job. And I'll tell you guys, is that it's insane. So I did some calculations, and the housing went up by like average of 4 point something percent compound interest. That's basically an average inflation rate for Canada for this period of time. So literally that $180,000 property in 1990s is same as close to $700,000 right now. Not a big difference, not what you would expect. Oh, the housing became unaffordable. No, not really. It's still the same. It's still freaking the same, adjusted to inflation rate, probably even some way cheaper. Some calculations in terms of gold and other things that people would compile and articulate, it's not really unaffordable. It's not the housing that are problem. The problem that people don't see is Canadians are poor. Canadians are not making enough money. Housing is fine. Canadian dollars lost its value, and your incomes of Canadians didn't go up according with in pace with the inflation. So what really happens is that people started making the prices went up higher, but the wages and incomes didn't really catch up to that, and that's the situation we are in. So I want to say, I'm sorry guys to tell you that, but the houses are not out of control. I'm really sorry to tell you that, especially in Calgary. I did some calculations with the compound interest rate. There is a formula for that, guys. If you want, you can Google it, how to calculate compound interest rate. You can do a financial calculator or just use a Google calculator, compare the prices, and you'll see that it's averaging like an inflation rate for the past 25, 30 years. So not really out of control housing is what the economy is slowing down, and the employers are not paying you enough because they're not incentivized to do business by the government, and the government is forced to cut down the interest rates. So let's see. I'm betting, guys. How much can I bet? Well, I'm not that rich to bet a lot of money, but I would bet $20 on it. I'm going to go and get pizza because I cannot bet with everybody else. If there is hundreds of people who are going to watch this video, then I cannot bet $20 with each of you because I'm going to just seriously, I'll be just in depth like our economy then, But I'll just bet, give it to my wife $20 in case I lose. She says 25 basis points. I say 50 basis points. Let's see who wins. And anyways, guys, they don't have choice. They don't have choice. If they cut down the interest rate, it damages Canadian dollar and it becomes weaker. But if they don't cut down the interest rates, there will be no jobs and the economy is going to slow down. It's going to be bad. We are in a really bad situation right now, guys. And let's see how it turns out. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.